Hi, today we've been out breaking the silence on this lovely autumn day on what has got to be one of the most charismatic litre class sports bikes of all time. This is the Aprilia RSV4. This one in fact is not just an RSV4R, if there's such a thing. This is the factory version, and it's also the APRC, as in Aprilia Performance Rider Control. Now, to make this particular motorcycle that little bit sweeter again, inside the ECU is Aprilia's race maps. So although it still has 3 modes, it has track, race and road, it doesn't restrict the horsepower, it just smoothens out the throttle control by controlling the butterflies in the throttle body. It's a nice system. Also, breathing out, it's going through a full titanium Aprilia system, complete with a carbon end can, titanium sleeve. If you're the sort of person that it really revels in the baritone bass note of a V-twin, this will still light your candle. If you like the howling sound of a 4-cylinder motorcycle, this is a 4, but it's a V4. And if you're familiar with what that really means as far as aural quality, that sound, this engine, if you're a V4 fan, you're probably already incoherent under the coffee table. With an Aprilia, as soon as you read factory somewhere on it, Öhlins, Brembo, carbon. It's a glorious mix. It's got an Öhlins TTX 36 on the back, cartridge forks on the front, Brembo monoblock calipers. The braking on this is fantastic. This particular one doesn't have ABS brakes, although the new batch coming in, that will be an option. As it stands, this puppy here is just under 40k. The pipe's on top of that, so are the maps. But it is a spectacularly nice motorcycle to ride, and despite the fact that it's edgy, it looks small, compact, and it hits like a sledgehammer, it's actually very comfortable for a litre sports bike. You're not way on the wrists, it's quite high in the front, wide. Ergonomically, it is probably one of the least extreme in the class. Aesthetically, it's probably the most. Now, the Italians have never been shy to flaunt what they do. Gorgeous swing arm. The alloy work on this is extremely nicely done. In here you've actually got an adjustable swing arm pivot, so you can change your steering geometry to suit. Slipper clutch, it's all there. This thing is ready to roll. The traction control system they have in the APRC models is extremely good. It's one of the best out there. You've got a little paddle shift on your left handlebar. You can swap between the modes for more or less life-saving intervention. As you choose, you don't have to shut the throttle. You can go into a corner, wind it up a bit if you think it's a bit ticey, crank it up a bit on the way out. It's a fly-by-wire throttle, so when you're asking for horsepower, what they call it is a torque request. And with the traction control set in the more safe modes, that's going to kick in more, and if you ask for something that it thinks you're not ready for, it will decline politely. It's not a really abrupt shutout. It's smooth, it's done with the butterfly valves. The lower the number, the less it's going to kick in to save your hide. So if you're riding home and it starts to rain, you just paddle your way up to number 6, 7 or even 8, in which case it won't let the back cut loose at all. On a dry track you can crank it right up. You can turn it off if you're really brave, but it's such a good system that once you get up onto 1 or 2, you really don't notice it. And in fact, the vast majority of the population would be quicker with it left on. Now, chances are, if you purchase one of these, at some stage you're going to want to have a go at the track. You might want to go to the track a lot. If you do, then you can go into the modes for the really neat little dash it's got in here, and you can swap from a road to a sport dash to a track dash, which puts the speedo somewhere down there where it's inconsequential, instead giving you things like gear positioning and lap times. Easy to use. In fact, the whole electronic function set is nice and easy to use. It doesn't detract from the fact that what it is a hard-assed, raw, absolutely enjoyable superbike. In standard trim, these things put out 180 horsepower at 12,500 RPM and 115 Newton meters of torque at 10,000. With the ECU and the pipe, This is probably going to be somewhere close to the 200 mark. It's still nicely fueled, it's seamless, it's easy to ride. You can ride it as your regular road bike, as long as you take into account that it's very tall geared. You're not going to run out of revs and hit the red line on top until you're doing like 330 k's on the track. It does, like all good Italians, like a tipple. On our test ride we averaged about 7.8 k's per 100 litres, and for some of the sections it's quite easy to dip into double figures. That being said, it just sounds so cool, feels so cool. Who cares, as the Italians would go. So there you have it, Aprilia's RSV4 Factory APRC. It's bold, it's brash, it's fast, I like it.